Aloha family, just hanging out with my compost pile, resetting my spine. Check it out, this is the last compost pile. Look at that, oh my gosh. Making your own soil, I'm telling you, super fulfilling. So I wanted to share on a topic today that very much fascinates and interests me, and that's the cultivation of a healthy and reliable community. I am by no means an expert in this, but this is something that has interested me for some time. It's got to be the number one challenge of this day and age. You know, they say the hardest yoga of all is the yoga of relationships. And I was listening to a podcast the other day where they're talking about preparing for a serious crash in society, a very challenging and hard time. And they were talking about preppers, who are people who store food and have their whole setup up in the mountains. And one of them was expressing that even preppers won't make it, or they'll have a very challenging time, because ultimately you need a community. We are communal animals. We rely on each other to survive. We can't do it all on our own. And then the other two people in the conversation were expressing like, yeah, but have you tried to live in a community? Because in this day and age, everybody has so much trauma, it's damn near impossible to be able to develop the trust or have the communication necessary to be able to do that. And I hear that loud and clear, being that I've lived in communities 8 of the last 10 years of my life. And I've witnessed so many amazing challenges and ultimately learned so much from them. You know, as they say, the yoga of relationship is the most challenging yoga of all. And with the perspective of all is one, this is one awareness coming to know itself. There's no better way to practice and cultivate your yoga of self-love, self-awareness than in relationship. And to be able to come to that place where you're so unified within yourself that a community can emerge around you, I think is a very profound thing. That's something I aspire towards. And now I have a small collective of friends, and we're close. And I wish to learn to expand that. And ultimately within the community of the island that I live on, not just for the joy of friendship and family, but for the stability and the health and well-being of everybody that I care about. And so I wanted to share a thought on the topic of we can't live in community because nobody trusts each other. And how can we cultivate trust? And I really think it's pretty straightforward. All of the things that we used to naturally do within our tribes, within our communities, build trust innately. We share food, we work on projects together, like building things or hunting, and we share in ceremony within either a church setting, within ceremonies, sitting around fire, talking circles, and ritual throughout the year. We're sharing in a like-minded of ritual and culture. And there's an art to this. It's not as simple as just having people coming over and sharing food, which is a beautiful thing. You'll get a level of integration with people, but it won't be as deep as it could be if you're better at hosting, if the intention around the feast and the food is more developed, and if you articulate those ideas, those prayers to the group of people that you're with collectively. Bringing the group together as a whole, saying a prayer, seeing if anybody else wants to share, so that the intention and the clarity of the community becomes refined. Because ultimately we have to share some kind of a belief or intention as our backbone to build our community on. And by having consistent gatherings, sharing food, helping our neighbors build things or farm or hunt, we build trust, we build rapport. And it's those relationships that are worth their weight in gold if a day were to come where we need to rely on one another. And I know that could be pretty far out there for some of you, but just the perspective of building real security and real health within your community. It's a very beautiful thing. And I think it used to be natural to us, and perhaps we took it for granted, and now very few people have it. We have maybe tight groups of friends in corners of the internet who are very similar to us, but we don't even know our neighbor. And so that is a skill and a reality I'm working on cultivating. And it's also just right up there with the self-practice, with the spiritual practice, because there's nothing like relationships to help you see how well you hold your compassion and your love for the self that is in all things. Awesome, guys. That's the idea for the day. If that brought up anything in you, please share it. Let's keep the conversation going, and definitely looking forward to cultivating this community more. Thinking of getting, what's the name of that online, a Discord going, just to get like minds communicating. If you guys think it's a good idea, let me know. And either way, I'll be seeing you soon. Love and aloha. Peace.